Let me introduce you to Troy Walker. He's 48 years of age. Now, here's a teaser for next week. We're going to do a press conference next week that we have been holding off on until this wrapped up. We did what we call a T3, a telephone intercept, a wire intercept, court-ordered, that wrapped up last year, okay? And on September 7th, while listening to our wire intercept, we found out that Troy sold our victim, who's 65 years of age, a female, drugs, cocaine. The next morning, our victim gets up, gets dressed, and is on her way to church when she gets outside of her door and collapses. The city of Bartow, where she lived in the city of Bartow, of course 911's called, and they rush our victim to the hospital, and she's dead. Now, I've got to tell you, it's a new one on me that on Saturday night you go out and buy some cocaine from your drug dealer, and you snort a little bit, and then you fire up before you go to church on Sunday. Maybe that helps you sing louder, brighter, you know. But I just don't think Jesus appreciates you using dope before you show up at church, but then Jesus takes you where he finds you. So she dies. Now we hear on the intercept some chatter because they're like all scared up, like we sold her dope and she died. And so we start a criminal investigation, and our homicide team gets into this. In the meantime, on October 25th, we wrap up the wire investigation, and we arrest Troy Walker, who's 48 from Bartow, as well as 41 other people. There was about 42 people arrested, and this all centered around the city of Bartow, and then this was a remarkably complex T3 or wire intercept investigation as to the heavy-duty dealing of drugs in Bartow. So we're holding off doing any press on that while we tie up loose ends on the cases and we tie up the loose end on this. Now let's fast forward. We now have our lab information back. The medical examiner agrees that our victim, who's 65 years of age, dies of a drug overdose of cocaine. We have the evidence put together. This week, we go before the grand jury on August 14th, as a matter of fact, and they indict Troy Walker for first-degree murder. There's a specific statute that says if you sell drugs to someone and they take those drugs and they die, then you're guilty of first-degree murder. So Troy sold the drugs to our 65-year-old church lady. She took the drugs and she died, collapsed and died as she's walking out of her door to go to church on Sunday morning. It's pretty crazy. Now next week, you're going to see us roll out the rest of the investigation that we completed about the end of October of last year.